that sort of thing. Now, the other thing I could have done, I could have got some sage hatches down here and just let my sage hatches eat the stinky poop. But I think what I'll do is put a couple of receptacles down just for now, because I don't actually have any sage hatchlings at the moment. Yeah, we'll just do this. This will be fine. Germs. What's up, Johnny? What are you talking about? Germs where? What's going on in here? I think we've probably got a little bit of polluted oxygen here now, but... Oh shit, I know why. They're harvesting these fucking things. Don't do that. No harvest. Disable. Bad. Naughty bad. Let's put meal lice in here for a second. And then I can sweep them up manually, can't I? Don't do it! I can explain that, Vixen. We were playing The Witcher, and I'd just killed a bear with my bare hands, literally by punching it in the kidneys. And I impressed the lady that all these lads were laughing about how they were all going to have sex with her. So I was like, yeah, well, I just punched a bear in the kidneys, and now I'm going to nail that woman. So that's what happened. I'm sorry. The sis will let germs in the clean water, right? I don't actually think they will. I could be wrong. We will see. I don't really know, Johnny. We're sort of... I've not done a sieve build for a while, and I can't remember if the germs actually do come through the water. I can't remember. I don't think they do, but if they do, well, shit. If they do, I'll have to think of something else. Germs stay to your understanding. You hate the germs, don't you? Really? Well, bollocks. What am I going to do about that, then? Bears are his weak spot and fish. Yes. Eunuch, come on now. Not at 7:30 in the evening. Come on. Nailu, how's it going, buddy? Nice, Mex. Exactly, that kind of sums it up. Whenever I saw a bear in The Witcher, it was a personal challenge to knock it out with my bare fists. My bare hands. You should have a list of all your room builds documented somewhere. The game's changing too much for that. Power plant, shroom farm, etc. The thing is, Electron, I try and do things a little differently every time I play. So, like, we've done hatch farms in the past where I could have done this same sort of design but with only one sweeper and things like that. Because I'll have a smaller floor area and stuff. Okay. Oh, it's not my green screen, it's my mic boomy thing, pop filter. Hold on. I try and mix up the builds. I try and mix up the builds as much as I can. Thank you for that, buddy. So that when you come to a different stream, you won't necessarily see the exact same shit. That's the idea. But, you know, there is only so many ways to skin a cat in this game. So there does come a point where it's like, I think I'm just going to plant my crops like this. Yeah, pretty much, Nailu. Well, not really. Debug stuff is normally for more complicated stuff. It's either for showing off something that's a bit of a complicated concept, or showing off something that's proof of concept, or just showing off a video for new players, just to explain it easier rather than having to set up an infrastructure base. Because when I first used to do videos for YouTube, I don't know if you remember back in the day, when I first used to do videos for YouTube, it was all in normal base. And I would build it, I would show things from my base, but it took so long when it came to do a new build, I'd end up like, ideas wouldn't get done because I was too busy waiting for my base to catch up, so... Maybe make a room right by the sieves, and very cold gases, radiant pipes, polluted water coming in, germ sense that the water in the sieves. Can I not see what's in this liquid? Is that not a thing I can do? Let's disable you a second, and we'll disable you, and let's build a little thing there. We'll soon find out. I honestly can't remember. And moreover, I can't remember if I put germy water in the electrolyzer, whether it matters anyway. I don't think it does, but you've given me the fear now. You can't watch a stream continuously because of work and such, so I need like a highlights reel. I see. The important things life did on day X. I see, Electron. The only problem is I don't edit my videos. I don't have time. It would be lovely if in an ideal world I had an editor that would take a 7-hour stream and make a 20-minute video. I would be fine with that. But I don't have the time to do it, honestly. I just don't. Need the subs to step up and clip the good stuff. Well, Torallo actually did a video. I don't know if you've seen it, Electron. Torallo did a video on for YouTube the other day, and I really liked it. I really liked it. It tickled me up quite a bit. I need a place to dump puffs, don't I? I fucking love that animation. My puff printer's gone. As have my dense puffed eggs, of which I did have quite a few, but I don't know where they've gone now. Barlex. Oh, but he's tame. He's tame. So what am I going to do with him? This isn't slime lung water, by the way. This is food poisoning water. We'll see anyway. We'll build this and find out. Ooh. Oh. Food poisoning water. Dying on liquid. Ooh. Now, if I was to put this into a tank, germs would never really get a chance to die off, I don't think. I think they would just keep on... More germs would keep getting injected into the build. So I kind of wanted to do like an overpressurized tank here for clean water and here for clean water. You know, both builds could have their own tank. I thought that'd be a nice way of doing it. So I can slap down anything that consumes water wherever I want. Like, maybe I want to do some carbon skimmers later, or I don't know. Although I've not really got much carbon dioxide at the minute, but I will have when we do natural gas power. So how would we get around this? Because this is going to keep injecting bubbles of clean water with 77 million germs in it. Interesting. You did little sped up clips of each of your streams for the next stream. It's taking an hour of your life for a couple of days a week just to get a little minute long clip and stuff. I did in the last stream. Interesting. I've not seen this. Is this on your channel? Yeah, it's on the YouTube channel, Electron. When you join the channel, it should be the first video that plays, like a welcome video. I've left it for like new people to the channel and stuff as like the welcome video. So yeah. Remember my thing. What thing, Johnny? Oh, maybe make a room right by the sieves with very cold gases and radiant pipes. Polluted water coming in with a germ sensor to let the water in the sieves. No, because that'll throttle my throughput massively. I want to move 10 kilos a second. Let's just make a tank and see what happens. I think it'll be fine, honestly. I can't see it being a problem. Maybe. We'll see. That's alright, Nathan. It's more down to me not reading it quickly enough. Right. I want to make like a basic bitch tank here. Just a basic one. That will just give me enough room to fit a pump or two in here. Just one pump would probably be fine. So, and then we'll replace these as well. Oops, a daisy. Guarantee I'm going to have a dense puffed escape, but whatever. Life, can you give me a quick peek at your ranching facilities when you get a chance? We've not really got much up at the minute, only half, buddy. We've got a couple of hatch ranches here, which I've not really looked at for a long time. Neither of which are currently at capacity. I've got some smooth hatches up here, some sunny shine bugs over here, some normal shine bugs over here. Some Drecos, a runaway smooth hatch, and that's about it, mate. We've not really got much ranching, much wrangling. Teach me temp shift plates. What's up, Beamron? Where are you putting the eggs? I'm not at the minute because we didn't have enough hatch eggs to begin with, so I'm currently just leaving them where they are and letting them just hatch normally. I've not got any incubators or anything down, and any excess eggs we get in here, I'm just gonna basically dump in a minute. Which I'll get to in a second. I'm currently just having a bit of a quandary with this. I'm having a quandary. You should remove them immediately from the room. They'll produce more without the eggs. Yeah, I know, only half. I've just not done an egg dropper yet, but I will do. I have no idea how to use them to control temps and stuff. They don't do anything other than spread the temperature in the room being run. So they work in a 3x3 area. It's an AOE effect. Depending on what material you use, basically determines how quickly that temperature is spread to surrounding elements. And yeah, if you built a tile like that, it would affect, technically, all of these tiles around it. Which means that you don't need to build like walls of temp shift plates. You can actually space them out. You can do like this sort of design. And they'll spread the temperature within the room. Where is best to use them? Wherever you're trying to spread temperature. So if you've got like a boiler plate down here and you want to boil 3 tiles with a liquid, I'd put a temp shift plate in the middle of all 3, and that's it. You know, something like that. But just remember they've got the area of effect, and you can actually use them a bit more sparingly then. You don't need to use quite as many. Connect one of these up, you say. Let's try it then. Let's try it for science. I honestly don't know the answer. I probably should know the answer, but I don't. So, let's get rid of you. And we'll get rid of... Let this water go. Oh, Beamron. Thank you for the bits, buddy. Bits for tips. Nice. Oh shit, did I not play the, Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Something terrible has happened. Give me 1 second. It didn't show Bill Murray. Where's Bill Murray gone? Hold on. There he is. There he is. No, you'll never be deprived of Bill Murray here. No way. No way, no how. Oh, he did show. Oh shit, I was tripping balls then. What's the problem here? Ah, shit. Okay. Let's just enable one of these for a sec. There's this yearly fish festival happening near my place, and every year there is this awful singing. What's that, Naily? What do you mean? What sort of awful singing? Ooh. Oh. It's dirty. Oh no. What are we going to do about all this dirty water? Sorry. Your dupes can't get sick of it. I don't care. I don't want yellow funk in my base split. That's what I don't want. Food poisoning's a bit more tougher to kill off. Need to boil the water up first. You're all about germs dying in the air. I know, but I don't want a yellow base. Heats up then. They're not dying off that quickly, Cross. They're really not. They're spreading out. Try green funk then. What do you mean, Max? It's on the food poison. Just tell your dupes to man up. It's because of how many germs are in there. That's the problem. And we'll get a constant re-injection before they can die off if you look. So it will grow to obscene levels, so... What should I do about that? See, the water in the electrolyzer room... Up here... It'll just fill this place up. Yellow is food, green is slime. What do you mean, Max? All your options require letting it sit. Well, one of the options is I could warm it up. Now, okay, I should probably explain at this point. The idea that I've got in mind for my magma boiler, my natural gas cooker, is going to involve using polluted water cycled until it gets to a certain temperature and then dumping it. Now maybe I could just use that water for electrolyzers, because that water I could then say cycle to 90 degrees and then dump it. And then put that into my sieves. This ain't gonna work, is it? This is gonna be poopy. If I do an overpressurized tank and don't give any way to kill off the germs, that's not gonna work either. Yeah, the problem is only half. It is already sitting. It's already sitting in a tank that's got 73 million germs on it. What temp does food poisoning die at? Below -25 and above 75, Vixen. So we can boil it off easier than we can kill it with cold. It's just if I'm going to do that, I need to do the boiler first. If I'm going to do the boiler first, I'm probably going to run out of water. So what can I do in the meantime to get me some sweet water? I mean, I could just go around collecting all these fucking pools that we've left everywhere, but that doesn't really make sense. Above 75. No, it's not that it's hard. I just don't have the infrastructure for it yet. And there's no point me trying to heat it all up with the Tepidise because that's just a waste of energy. So, let me think about this. I'm still going to want tanks on either side here. So I'm going to put these in now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2... Wait, I can't do it here. Fuck. 6, 7, 8. Maybe drip it through one of your chlorine rooms. That won't work. Where's the polluted water from your slush geyser? Up here, Johnny. That's fine. Pop in some heaters in the O2 room. It should die real fast then. Pop in some heaters in the O2 room. No! There's no point me heating something up only to cool it again afterwards. I'm not heating it for no reason. That doesn't make sense. Yo, Lifegrow, can I ask a favour? How are you dealing with your cooling in the space? Never before. I'm cooling my oxygen. I'm cooling my oxygen in here. In fact, that's the hot pipe. So all this oxygen down here comes through like below 16 degrees. It should do anyway. Some of this I think is warmed up over time. So what we end up with is a base that's around 20 odd degrees, 20 to 25 degrees I would think. So yeah, I'm cooling the oxygen in my electrolyzer room. And then that cooled electrolyzer, that cooled oxygen keeps my base cool. But a couple of these pumps in here are hot. So, what if you put electrolyzer in chlorine pool and let the oxygen go up, killing most of the germs? Doesn't work that fast. Any temp you get in the sieve will put it out at 40 degrees. I know that, Johnny, that's what I'm saying. So there's no point me putting in energy. Right, listen, guys. There's fundamentals to this game that you don't want to cross, right? So there's no point me heating something to later get a fixed temperature at 40 degrees no matter what. There's no point me boiling water for no reason just to get a 40 degree output. Unless I'm trying to delete heat. Well, if I'm trying to delete heat, I've got methods of generating heat that I'm going to want to get rid of that don't cost power, i.e. cooling natural gas. When I boil natural gas from oil, it's going to be like 500 to 600 degrees and I need to cool that shit down. That's where I'll cool my water. Or that's where I'll heat my water. But I'm not going to put down tepidizers or aqua tuners to try and boil water when I don't need to. Tell you what I'm going to do. Let me pause this for a minute. Let me pause this thought for a second. I'll show you something I've been working on. And then maybe you'll understand where I'm coming from. This is a big build that isn't finished yet. Okay? It isn't a finished build. It's very janky. So stay with me. But you do need to. It's Jeremy. No, Nailu, I can set up better infrastructure first. I will show you. Labrador, good evening, buddy. How are you, mate? Hey, Mr. Letch, you're the one that doesn't want the Jeremy air. And you asked for ideas. No, it's not that I asked for ideas. It's that I was brainstorming. That means that if there's an idea that comes up and I need to explain it, I will do. So I'm not being Mr. Lecture. I'm being Mr. You need to understand this. Alright? I'll show you. I'll explain. I appreciate when you guys contribute. I do. But on the same token, you do need to understand I have got an idea of
A few moments later.
Son of a bitch. Oh, that was timed well. Beamer on, you son of a bitch. A few moments later. Ah, you bastard. Okay, so this is This is a bit of a monster debug build I've been tinkering with. I'll explain the idea first, and then I'll show you... I'll try and explain how it works. This is something that's not quite right at the minute. I'm struggling with a couple of last bits, but when it's finished, I'll show you a bit of a better video on it. So, what we've got here is a regolith boiler. This is an idea that came from Johnny Monroe, I think it was, on the forums, I think. Donut, good evening, how are you? Who basically showed a way of generating additional heat from your magma by boiling regolith from the surface, right? For those of you that might not know, I need to turn on debug. For those of you that might not know, regolith is the material you get from the surface up here. It is essentially sand. It's like filtration medium. It behaves the same as sand. The beauty of it is, when we turn it to magma, it changes from having a thermal conductivity of 1 to 2, okay? And we can melt it to igneous rock, essentially. We can melt it to magma. We can melt it, and it will enhance our magma pool. So what we've basically got down here is some regolith that's assuming you've collected it from the surface. My game's crashed. And what this is basically done, it's in a sweeper arm that will put it on a loop. Okay, so my regolith comes through here, like so. Alright, and this will get to quite warm temperatures as it passes through our magma. And you'll see we start getting regolith that's getting pretty toasty, okay? What will then happen is it will drop off the belt as magma, and it will pretty much almost instantly solidify. And when it solidifies, we get really hot little pockets of igneous rock. Not solidified igneous rock, but igneous rock that we can then pick up, okay? So again, this will have to cycle a little bit. That igneous rock we can then send down a conveyor belt, okay? So here we've got some auto sweepers that are going to send it down this conveyor belt. This conveyor belt then takes that thermal energy and uses it to boil oil. So we've got oil being pumped in here that makes petroleum, okay? And then the petroleum boils into natural gas, all right? And then we further take that conveyor rail up here where it goes through our steam turbines. The steam turbines need to be warmed up in order to function properly. So this keeps our steam turbine rooms warm, and our steam turbines run for a portion of the day, every day. We've got a couple of clock sensors up here that toggle them on at different points, and we get power out of that heat as well, okay? And then it goes on its merry way and boils some water up here and turns it into steam, and the steam then condenses to water, and we clean some water in the process, and we get some dirt. And then it comes out at the other end, and we've still got igneous rock at 600 degrees. That's how much energy you can get from magma, right? That's how much energy you can get from magma and igneous rock. And thermal energy in this game is very, very powerful. There is no reason to ever inject heat into something that you're later going to cool. It doesn't make sense, unless it is a byproduct of a machine that you're trying to vent. So in here, I'm boiling oil, I'm running turbines, I'm generating additional magma, and I'm boiling water. All off this one bit of magma. So I'm not just going to use my magma just to warm up some water. Does that make sense? So we are going to do a much smaller version of this same sort of idea, without the steam turbines, without the boiling of water. We don't need that shit. As you can see, this is already too hot for me to regulate with like normal basic methods. This needs aqua tuners to cool all this shit down. Magma has a lot of thermal energy, and I'm going to take some of that thermal energy and dump it into my water to boil my water and kill off the germs. Once it's cooled my natural gas. That'll be the plan, I think. Other than that, there's no point me just injecting heat into dirty water. Doesn't make sense. Does that explain it a bit better now? Magma, very powerful. Very powerful. Very powerful. The most powerful. A lot of energy. Seen Ketmo on YouTube cooling his base with aqua tuners and then using the heat from aqua tuners to purify polluted water, condensed steam produced by it. Do you approve, Mr. Grosky? That's totally legitimate. Ketmo's a pretty cool guy, comes up with some good ideas. The throughput on that build isn't very good, I wouldn't have thought. How critical is your water supply? Pretty close. Wouldn't it just boil it into water, then break your sieves? No, I'd just do like a feedback loop only half. I'd loop it until it got to a certain temperature and then dump the water. Once it got above 80 degrees, I'd dump the water out. So you might get 2 passes with your water before needing to purify it, I think. Depends how I do it in the end, but Yeah, boiling polluted water with aqua tuners has been in the game for months. It's not a new thing, really, Labrador. It's been around for a long time. It's just you can't get very much of a throughput from it. Not a massive throughput, anyway. I don't like that there. So let me see if I understand this. This whole asteroid will eventually end in fire. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I need to go through the rest of the YouTube vids of yours. Far too much knowledge for me. Beamron, it changes all the time, mate. The systems change all the time. Like that debug build I'm tinkering with there, if I don't get that finished before the next update, it probably won't be relevant anymore. Like, that's how quick this game's changing, so... It's changing a lot. So, with that in mind, I've got two options. I can either pump shitty, dirty food poisoning germs into my base. Don't really want to do that. Or I can just get straight on with this natural gas build. Should we just do the natural gas build? How much water have we got? A bit up here, a bit down there. We've still got some starter water as well. Any suggestions, Lifegrow? Oh god, I have one more.